Right, it's P3, June 2024, question 3. It's a functions question. But it says the range of FG, the range of a composite function. I don't think I've ever seen an Edexcel question with the range of a composite function. So we're going to circle around to that one. So here we go. Right, it says f and g defined by those two functions. F to the minus 1 of 22 it wants. So it's tempting to work out the inverse function of f, but it's really the same process of just saying that x is f to the minus 122 and then doing the f of both sides. So you've got the f of x is f of f to the minus 1 of 22. And when you do f of f to the minus 1, well, you just end up back where you started from. So I want f of x to be 22. So I get that equation, solve it, take away 2, divide by 4, and then e both sides. X is e to the power of 4. Right, then it says use differentiation to prove that g is an increasing function. That's what you get in the formula book, the quotient rule. So it's the top differentiate times the bottom minus the other way around, all over the bottom squared. So g dash then, well, if I differentiate the top and multiply by the bottom, I get that. The other way around, the bottom differentiated times the top all over the bottom squared. If I multiply those brackets out, I can cancel out those 12 x's. So I'm just left with 10 over 2x plus 1 squared. I've got a positive number over a positive number. Anything squared is positive, so that's greater than 0. So it is indeed an increasing function. Then g to the minus 1 it wants. So standard procedure, put y equals g to x and then make x the subject. So multiply by 2x plus 1. Try and isolate the x's, get them both on one side. Take it out as a factor and divide by that bracket. And remember to write g to the minus 1 at the end. And we'll also want the domain these days, which means we need the domain of the function, domain of the inverse, which is the range of the original function. The domain of the original function is greater than a third. If we put a third into g, we actually get 0, and it says it's greater than a third, and it's an increasing function, so it's just going to go up. So the g of x is going to be greater than 0. Actually, that's the same as the domain of g to the minus 1. It's increasing, but it doesn't increase forever, because if you put some big numbers in, g of 100, 2.97, g of 1,000, 2.99, so it's increasing, but getting closer and closer to 3. So that's sort of the top upper limit, really, and it's the upper limit of the domain of g to the minus 1. You could think about it by saying, well, if you divide the top and bottom by x, you get 6 minus 2 over x over 2 plus 1 over x, and the 2 over x and the 1 over x just get closer and closer to 0. It gets bigger and bigger. Or you could say, well, if x gets bigger and bigger, you can forget about the minus 2 and the plus 1, because they're just small in comparison, and then dividing the top and bottom by x, you get 6 over 2.